Alright, so today I'm back with another Blue Lock League video, and today we will go over chapter 293, which finally put a stop to this match. And I'm fully honest when I tell you that this might be the most insane and craziest chapter ever, but I don't want to say too much, so you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, before jumping into it, please leave a like and a comment, as well as join the Discord server. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, if you want to check out the leaks for yourself, then I will put a link down in the comments where you can look at them. Alright, so we start this chapter off with the ball still being high up in the air, and the text says that Kunigami's desperate defense gives Germany a chance. The course of luck creates the future of the field. And if that wasn't enough, then we also see a puzzle piece with the word luck written on it. And can you believe that in the next panel, it lands in the hands of none other than Alexis Ness, who we saw got his awakening in the last chapter? He looks in shock when he gets the ball, but he also looks ready this time to show what he goes for. We see everyone having their eyes lock onto Ness, but the most important ones are both Isagi and Kaiser, as they low-key stare at him. Kaiser's eyes get more intense as he says Ness's name and says that he is here and calls him a puppy. Ness is just too absorbed in his own world, so the only thing he's able to focus on is the incoming ball, and we see his eyes beginning to flare up with excitement as he says that his luck just came. He thinks that Kaiser can score easily with a pass, but he cuts himself off right here and calls himself stupid, as he can't think about Kaiser right now, as he is becoming the new him and has to focus purely on himself. Kaiser is in a furious battle with Shidu, and he thinks about what Ness is going to do. He first thinks that Ness might shoot, but he quickly brushes that idea to the side and calls it impossible for Ness to shoot, and then tells him to pass to his master Kaiser while calling him a pig. But like Ness said before, he couldn't care less about Kaiser, as he now says that he can bring new magic to this field. And as he says that, we can see his aura starting to go crazy around himself, as it's like a dark, fiery pit all around him. He then starts to look absolute demonic, as his eyes look super intense, and he says that he only made passes to hit for Kaiser, and that his Kaiser can't change, thinking that this the first rebellion, and that this is a challenge to a new emperor, telling them that if you are the best in the world, then you just have to try and steal it. And then he shoots an outstanding pass right into the pit of players surrounding by the goal. But the art on this cross is out of this world. Reichi first thinks that he shot the ball, and that he tried to score on his own, but then Nanas comes in, and says that it's a drive pass. Ness's eyes have gotten completely dark, and it's like an empty void, as he says that his topspin is unsuitable for Kaiser Impact, calling it his feel-good all-out strike-through timing, which is a hell of a name, but sure. Still, the most insane thing happens as we see Kaiser breaking free from Shidu, and he has lightning in his eyes as he runs towards the ball. Ness looks super happy as he says that if you were there, maybe they could become a team again, and he says Kaiser's name. But just as they are getting their happy reunion, we can see someone also running at top speed, and it's of course none other than Isagi Yoichi, who we see has almost 1,000 pieces all around him as he runs towards the ball with his god mode. He then looks like he's just seen a ghost as he looks at Isagi, as this isn't what he wanted, I would assume. But it's not only Ness who's in awe, as Karasu is also extremely shocked as he asks if Ness really passed to Isagi and wonders what is going on. But then Hiyori comes in and tells him that it's not the case, but that the whole field, including himself, couldn't predict this sudden mutation and awakening of the genius called Ness. We then see that Isagi is far ahead of both Shidu and Kaiser, and is basically free right now before Hiyori continues and says that it was only Isagi, the ultimate talent learner, who believed in equality, and ran to adapt, making him stronger than anyone else. Yukimiya, who's also keeping close eye on this, says that he killed his emotions and continued to sell his soul to victory. Kunigami right by his side also adds in by calling Isagi an egoist machine. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? After that, we see Rin reaching his hand out to try and stop Isagi, but he quickly realizes that he's way too far ahead, and is amazed by the fact that Isagi is still able to evolve. We then leave Rin and go over to Kaiser, who's having the biggest crash out ever right now, as we can see him screaming Ness's name extremely loud, and he looks like he's just about to run and take a knife and stab Ness, because Kaiser honestly looks mental at this point, which is a bit hypocritical as he wanted Ness to change and even quit football for good. We then see Ness, who I can't even describe what he looks like. He looks almost like a zombie, and he looks completely dead inside as he lets out a bit of frustration. However, under him we see Rin, who looks at Isagi closely and says that perfectly, the new Isagi Yoichi is here, and that the neo-egoist controlling both hope and despair can be born. After that, it's finally time as Isagi enters his shot motion as he takes his foot back before making one of the most visually pleasing goals I have ever seen, as he makes yet another 2-gun volley. But this time, the art is just out of this world as it looks mental. Anyway, as the ball is beginning to reach the goal, we see a ton of puzzle pieces flowing around the ball. We see when Isagi first entered God mode. We see when Isagi put his hand on Igarashi's head. We also see when Isagi legit declared war on the Masters. But also when he was pretty much crying after he found out that Noah was just using him to evolve Kaiser further. Leaving that, we see the goalkeeper who jumps and tries to reach the ball. While that is happening, we see Igarashi, who looks excited while crying on the bench. Not to mention both of the Masters, who looks completely in shock, as I don't believe we have ever seen Noah like this before. But with that, we then see the ball finally entering the goal and securing the win for Bastard Munchen. Rin looks furious as he says that Isagi is Blue Lock's Demon King. But after that, Isagi hits the most insane celebration pose as he kinda kneel, tackles the ground, and then he looks absolutely insane as his aura is all around him, and not to mention how happy he looks like, as the commentator says that Isagi scores the last goal and Bastard Munchen wins the Neo-Egoist League. The ending text also says, in a dramatic ending, Isagi scores the final goal versus France. The Demon King who devoured everything gives his first cry, and like this wasn't enough to celebrate it, we also get the news that there's no break next week, which just gets me jumping up and down from my chair as I need to see the aftermatch of all of this. I need to hear what Noah's gonna tell Isagi now that he became the winner, and not to mention how I'm dying to see everyone from Bastard Munchen celebrate with Isagi, as we need to see all of the bench players just rush out and jump on top of him because this was literally insane. I'm also kinda scared to know how Ness's and Kaiser's interaction will go, like as Kaiser looked pretty angry at Ness here, but also, when on the topic of it, I want to see where his and Isagi's relationship goes from here on out, if they will continue being cool with each other, or if both Kaiser and Isagi will go back to hating on each other. In my excitement, I forgot to mention it, but the next chapter will be called Champion, which obviously refers to Isagi and Bastard Munchen, as they are the rightful champions of this Neo-Egoist League. But even though how much I truly love this game and it had so many insane moments, it's nice to know that it's finally over, because in the end, it started to get a bit annoying, as they basically just went back and forth with each other. It also was like me, and a lot of guys said in my last leak video, which was that the match would end in this chapter, but also that Isagi would be the one to score the final goal, because let's be real, it kinda had to be him, because no one else could end the Neo-Egoist League off with such a bang like Isagi could. Also, I can't wait until the official chapter comes out and I can show you guys all of these amazing panels, because especially Isagi's goal and his celebration looks absolutely insane, as the author really went completely wild on them, as it looks like literal peak. Anyway, now it feels like I'm just rambling on a bit, so I feel like it's a good place to end it. But before that, I just need to know your opinion on this goal and what you thought about it, because it's really given me goosebumps, so please leave it in the comments. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.